I was trying to be funny by exaggerating the slide, and I know I failed because the slides really do look like that. It's hard to overdo this stuff for comic effect. If I recall, the team in Boston was saying we could use a few more of those. Data doesn't move people, especially in a world that has become infinitely noisy. In fact, attempts to influence people with data usually backfire and make people dig in their heels even more. The ways most leaders are attempting to unstick their systems are usually making them more stuck. To lead in a new world of complexity, uncertainty, and ambiguity, 21st century leaders are increasingly turning to one of humanity's oldest technologies. Story is the big new idea that isn't new at all. Organizations are emotional systems. Organizations are emotional systems. I said that to a team of financial software engineers in Germany, and I was surprised that it was a controversial statement. I get it. These were brilliant people whose cool intelligence and data gymnastics had placed them near the top of their market. The idea that they might be finding their way through the world with emotion was an affront to some of them. But they are. We all are. Our emotion drives our decision-making. Our rationality shows up after the feeling, not before, adding justification to decisions that we've already made with our emotions. Consider Elliot. Elliot was a rare exception to this rule. After a surgery to remove a brain tumor, he was left with permanent damage to the ventromedial prefrontal cortex area of his brain. As a result of the brain damage, Elliot's emotions became, in effect, walled off from his thoughts. He could still think thoughts. He could still feel feelings. But Elliot could no longer link the two. The debilitating impact of this on Elliot's life is described in the book Descartes' Error by Dr. Antonio Damasio, a neuroscientist who is also Elliot's doctor. Damasio shows that after the surgery, Elliot could no longer hold down a job, finish a task, manage his finances, or keep a relationship. In fact, unable to access his emotion, even simple decisions had a paralyzing effect on Elliot. One day, Elliot was in Damasio's office when Damasio asked him when he wanted to schedule his next appointment. "Would you like to come in next Monday morning or Tuesday afternoon?" Dr. Damasio said. He watched with fascination as Elliot stood there helplessly for nearly half an hour, lost in an endless loop of weighing pros and cons of Monday versus Tuesday, until Damasio finally intervened and said, "Why don't we just grab that Monday date?" Elliot said, "Okay," and went on his way. For most of us, the simplicity of that decision would belie a complicated and mostly invisible dance between our thoughts and our emotions. Your body draws from an archive of emotional memory that quickly assigns a felt value to the different choices. Damasio calls these emotional memories somatic markers. We hardly notice this internal emotional transaction has taken place as we say things like, Tuesday feels good to me. Let's go with that. Elliot couldn't do this. Unable to bring emotion into the equation, Monday versus Tuesday represented an endless maze of variables with no way of assigning weight or value to any of them. You feel it first. Thoughts follow. Your brain assigns language to justify a decision that was already made emotionally. Sure, Monday versus Tuesday is a low-stakes decision, but emotion drives the most consequential activities of individuals, teams, institutions, and societies. The Boston team's client was pretty blunt that a complex $250 million sales decision hinged on a feeling. Make us believe. Organizations are emotional systems. If you are seeking to influence people to action by using data, you've grabbed the wrong tool from the toolbox. You need another language. Story is the language that engages and influences the emotional system. Make me believe. Stories aren't the answer to every